one of the things that like I have that really hit me. It hit me this morning actually. One of my favorite artists is this guy named his name is Westside Boogie, and he's from Compton. Like grew up in like gang and stuff like that. But one thing that makes him very interesting is that he talks about the emotional toll that's taken on him. And so he had this song that came out because his album drops on Friday. And the lyrics of it just really freaking got me, because he talked about like one of the things he says is now I can't remember what the hell he's like. What was that song called? Because it's coming off his latest album, but it put me in this mindset of when I was in high school. And so one of the interesting things about it was he was just talking about how he's like dealing. One of the things he said, like, I'm fighting against my mind. And I was just like, oh shit. And so like one of the things he said that really, really, really stuck with me, and he was like, I'm a product of war. The fuck are you being so positive for? And like, and I was just like, oh shit. And it made me think on like just that realness of just like, I can't think positive when you don't know like the war that I'm having, to fight through and stuff like that. So that's one of those things I always talk about, both with like toxic positivity. And I'm just like, yo, I can't, like, you just don't understand what I'm having to see every day. And it put me, and all of a sudden I started finding myself getting angry because I went to a high school that was very, it was in the hood, but it was a really good school at the time, but it could be tough. And I went to school with a lot of people who were in gangs and stuff like that. It was really cool. Not cool at all.
I was like, wait.
Yeah, but one of the things, like, they were always really nice. And I was thinking on this particular, on a few different levels. Like, I played sports. That made my journey a little bit easier. And another thing that I always used to get frustrated with is that so many people were looking for street cred. And so they always just wanted, so they'd always be in the rough parts with these dudes. And I would get really angry with some of these people, because I would be like, yo, like, some of these dudes are my friends, and like their lives are very traumatic, and you're trying to keep them there so that you can feel like you're a part of the streets, and you're because you're insecure with like the home that you're growing up in. And it really used to piss me off. So I was always very encouraging to a lot of those guys. And it reminded me of one of my friends who sadly got killed. And he was definitely in a gang, but every single time we played football together, so I played wide receiver, he played corner, and he would always come out there and come and challenge me every single time, pissing me the hell off. But he would always he just was someone that always toughened me up and was just like, Ryan, dude, like, do you understand how good you are? Like, you need to do, like, boom. And he would always just put his, and like, it made me tougher, but like, it also at the same time, like, he looked out for me. I had a hard time sometimes in gym, and he would always put me on his basketball team and stuff like that, because he was like, this dude is like amazing. At the same time with him, like, I would listen to him and stuff like that, and we kind of like had this very interesting relationship. And I never wanted him to kind of like stay where he was. So like, listening to this guy's song, it was just putting me in this mindset, and I was starting to get angry at people who was trying to like keep some of my friends where they were so that they could continue to feel better. But like, and then it reminded me of like this time in lunch. I wasn't there, and I remember thinking, I feel like I'm soft because I wasn't there, but I'm going to tell you why. And I like sometimes will regret it some days, because I want that kind of street cred. I used to want it. And like, so we would go off campus to lunch, and one of the things was McDonald's, and there were quite a few people who were in gangs and stuff like that. But one time, at this particular time, I didn't go off campus. And it might have been my higher power saving me, because one of the people from like a rival gang came and jumped somebody at the McDonald's. And apparently like there was just so much blood there. And one of the both there was two guys from the football team. Both of them were in rival games, but we always got along with each other. And so I just remember someone telling me like this dude was bleeding out, and he was just, but like his friend who was in the gang that was jumping him was holding him and was just crying and all that stuff. And like it sent me down this wormhole of just like, these people are like, don't keep them there. So like listening to this guy talk about like just the mental effect of like trying to get out of this, and some people want you to stay there, and some people are doing it because they don't want to get better, and some folks are doing it because they want to feel like when they're around you that like, you know, no one's going to mess with them. And that used to always bother me. And I found myself getting really like just kind of going through that found myself just kind of going down that road a little bit this morning. And I was really grateful for this song because I kept playing it over and over and over, because a lot of those guys didn't know how to really say what their feelings were. Mm-hmm. And so to hear him talk about it, I'm just like, okay, so I feel like I was doing the right thing. I remember like a friend of mine, he went to jail, and when he got out, I went to go see him. Everybody's drinking, yeah, what's up, blah, blah, blah. And like, I saw my friend who had just got out, like kind of sitting by himself. And I was like, yo, what's up, bro? And he was just like, man, I can't believe like I am out right now. And I was like, oh yeah, you are. And he was just like, you know, I was scared you weren't going to be here. And I was like, why? What are you talking about? He was like, I was afraid that you were disappointed in me and that you were just mad at me. And I was like, well, you were being a dumbass. And I used to like, that's one thing that I always like I used to always say, like, I was not happy at all. I was like, but I want you to do better. He started telling me, he was like, I don't know if you even realize it, man. We were in the same, we graduated together. He was like, I don't know if you realize, like, I looked up to you and so-and-so and so-and-so, because I mean, you guys just always kind of looked out. Like even when he was doing dumb shit, like throwing up his gang sign when I was driving him home in the rival neighborhood. And I said, hey, you don't be a dumbass over here. Mm-hmm. And so that was just always very interesting to kind of like see the influence on that, and just like to hear that guy said, like, I'm a product of war. Like I can't be positive, and like to understand that on a certain level, mm-hmm. And to like still show that love, even though like, you know, I wasn't living in the situation that they were living in. And I don't know, I was just really proud of the way I handled myself even in high school, when I was always scared.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it also is like, reminds me a little bit of, I guess, our theme today, which is like going through it, you can help other people, you know, like because you were, how can I consolidate it? Like in the same way that if I want to be a integrative health professional, like that having gone through it,
that sounded very fancy, by the way,
could be the best way to do it. And then, you know, continuing that theme with other things, it's like you could help because you were there, you know, but you also chose like a different way so people could look up to you. Like